Yo, what up? It's Majay back here with a wrestling reaction. So, we're about to be reacting to all this little Tessa Blanchard controversy. She's she has returned to the whole ring in America. She's been wrestling in Mexico, I heard. But and now she's back in TNA again. There's a lot of people having a problem with it. And we're just gonna be reacting to this. I guess it's getting worse. Well, guess we gotta see.
Tessa Blanchard made her controversial return to TNA last month and just last night had her return match back in the company. So how did her first TNA match in 5 years go? Well, it was quite a disaster and everything that I kind of predicted would happen. Today we're going to take a look at how the TNA return of Tessa Blanchard is going so far and her return match that took place last night against Jordynne Grace on TNA Genesis, and we'll discuss some other parts of the show too. So like the video and let's get into it. Right, so if you've been living under a rock, Tessa Blanchard made her shocking TNA return last month at Rebellion, attacking Jordynne Grace. It's obviously a very controversial move given Tessa's history, and apparently Jordynne Grace didn't even want to work with her. Regardless though, this match has been building up for the last few weeks, with the two women attacking each other each week on Impact, and with Tessa looking to re-cement her place in the company she claims was built off her name. And the match between the two was officially made for TNA Genesis, which took place last night, and there is a lot to say about this match, so let's just jump straight into it. Tessa Blanchard enters first to big boos, in stark contrast to Jordynne Grace, who obviously enters to a good pop and a big ovation. This match is hot right from the get-go, as the two get straight to brawling, with Jordynne Grace dominating early, and she's fired up and hits a tope suicida and a jackhammer on the outside already inside the first minute. There's fuck you Tessa chants already, as Grace continues to dominate, much to the delight of the crowd. Tessa makes her comeback and takes control of the match, as the crowd are either dead silent with someone in the crowd shouting profanities every now and then, or just completely booing her whenever she's in control. I'll say there's some good ring work from Tessa here, but like I said, the crowd does not care for it. Jordynne hits a huge fall-away slam from the top rope to bring the crowd back to life, and there's some more big near falls as Jordynne is hitting Tessa with everything. Tessa Blanchard hits a double underhook destroyer for a near fall, and then a twisting cross body to the outside before eating a rolling thunder to the outside, which is followed by "This is awesome" chants as Jordynne once again gets the crowd going. Tessa Blanchard hits a crucifix driver off the top rope for a near fall, which the crowd responds to by chanting "She's a racist." Wow, I don't think I've ever heard that chant at a wrestling show ever before.
Well, TNA is spinning the ball by bringing her back right now. I don't know what the hell are they doing, but like clearly, I guess the fucking fans were not ready for her to return. I don't get why wrestling companies do that shit. You can't just shove somebody down the fan's throat and expect them to just like forget everything that they did. Oh my God. It's like what they tried to do with Roman Reigns, but Roman Reigns wasn't a terrible person, quote unquote, behind the scenes. I don't know if she's a terrible person, but like a lot of people have said that Chelsea Green and a few other wrestlers, but like this is bad, bro. I wonder what they go do or wonder what creative plans that they got to like recover from this.
Some rest holds and more near falls as Tessa goes for her finisher Magnum, but Grace avoids it and gives her a Grace-Aro swing. Tessa Blanchard takes an awkwardly long amount of time trying to take off the turnbuckle pad and just isn't able to before just giving up. They work around it though as Tessa reverses the muscle buster into a buzzsaw into the turnbuckle that wasn't exposed. A big near fall off that, and Tessa then tried to get the middle turnbuckle off and this time does succeed, bulldogs Jordynne Grace into it and hits the Magnum for the win. It was an awkward closing stretch, but as a match, it was a good match. However though, the fans completely rejected Tessa, and this is exactly what I said in my last video. No matter how good her in-ring work is, how good her matches are, there's a very high chance that the fans in attendance are just going to completely reject whatever is going on in the ring if it involves her. And yeah, literally, this was a really good match. Both of them were working. Jordynne Grace was really getting the crowd going, and yeah, that was a very common theme of the match. Anytime Tessa was doing anything, no matter how good or impressive it may have been, the crowd completely was silent, rejecting it and booing her, chanting she's a racist at her, which I've never heard at a wrestling show ever. And like I said, that's in stark contrast to Jordynne Grace, who, like I said, whenever she was working, she was getting the pop for it in return. It was a good match, however, it was completely rejected, especially because of the fact that Tessa Blanchard won, and because of the fact that, well, she was in there. I'm very, very interested to see what happens here next, because if this was a litmus test, then things are not looking good. This is set to be Jordynne Grace's final match in TNA, and though it was a good match, like I said, Jordynne unfortunately goes out on a bit of a whimper, taking a loss to Tessa Blanchard in a match where most of the talk about the match was the fact that Tessa Blanchard was in it and the chants from the crowd and all of that. It's a shame that her last match was completely overshadowed. Elsewhere on the show, there was another major departure from TNA as Josh Alexander, after losing his I Quit match to Santana, officially announced he was also quitting TNA. And this comes as no surprise, just like Jordynne's doesn't. These departures have been brewing for quite a while, and the obvious destinations for them both is to go to WWE. In Josh Alexander's case, it makes a lot of sense, as his ex-TNA tag partner Ethan Page is a top star in NXT, so there's already storyline opportunity there. And as for Jordynne Grace, she's already made many WWE appearances as part of the NXT-TNA partnership and has been slated to go to WWE for a long while now. But whilst it's unfortunate for TNA to lose them, theoretically they could still appear for TNA, because speaking of the NXT-TNA partnership, it was announced recently by WWE and TNA that there is now an official multi-year agreement between the two companies.
Yo, this is cool in years. I'm back in 2013. I could never imagine this happening. If I swear, if Vince McMahon was still there, this will not be happening. Triple H, Endeavor, and everybody are just working together to like make WWE so different, and I'm glad they doing it. Like, bro, they WWE deserves this presence, and TNA deserves this presence too. They've been doing their thing for the past couple of years, getting the company built back up to what it was. So this whole partnership is gonna be big.
Companies that will see talent appear week to week between the two shows, which is very exciting news. The WWE/TNA partnership and the talent appearing between the two shows had kind of slowed down in recent months, and I thought that it was kind of coming to an end. But no, it looks as though the partnership is actually bigger than ever, and we could be about to see
Shit.
a lot more crossover stars. Lots of talent from TNA jumping over to WWE to appear on shows for a bit, and vice versa. This is very big for TNA, and in fact we even saw some crossover on the show last night as Ariana Grace and Cora Jade appeared on the show, with Cora
Shit.
Jade confronting Knockouts champion Masha Slamovich, which makes things very interesting. Very exciting times, I reckon, for Josh Alexander and Jordynne Grace. We could see them both maybe in their respective Rumble matches, making their official WWE debuts. Another TNA wrestler who's made a few appearances for WWE is none other than Joe Hendry, who at Genesis last night
Hey.
finally won the TNA World title. And so it looks like he's there to stay in TNA, at least for now, and I have a good feeling we'll also be seeing him and the TNA World title belt make an appearance at the Royal Rumble. Joe Hendry, after he lost his last world title attempt at Rebellion last month, I thought was probably not going to last much longer in TNA and was WWE bound, but apparently his TNA contract runs through to the end of the year. So it's good that he's locked in with TNA still and is going to carry the world title belt, and I also have a feeling that Joe Hendry is being positioned as TNA World Champion, because I think Joe Hendry is going to be the main TNA guy who is appearing on WWE frequently. And what better way for
You know what's gonna be weird if Dolph Ziggler come back and like a whole bunch of like stars like Dana Brooke come back, like the announcer's gonna be have to say like, oh, formerly known as Dolph Ziggler or formerly known as Dana Brooke. It's just gonna sound goofy. Like I don't know how I don't know how it's just gonna feel awkward, but it's still gonna be the same thing, I guess.
TNA to get exposure from WWE, then have him carry around the TNA World title whilst he's there. So overall, things are looking good for TNA. They seem to be the best business-wise they've been in a very long time, which makes it all the more puzzling why they brought back Tessa Blanchard in the midst of all of this. Maybe they saw this as the safest time to bring her back or something, but after the chants I heard during Tessa's match, I really don't understand why TNA are willingly dealing with that. And also, before anyone asks, no, I don't think WWE will bring in Tessa Blanchard as part of their partnership and deal with TNA. I think that would be a really bad idea on WWE's part. In a way, I wouldn't be too surprised if it did happen, but I don't think it will. If WWE wanted Tessa, they could have just signed her themselves anytime in the last 5 years. There's no reason to do it now, and once again, last night showed that, because after what I saw with the way the crowd responded to Tessa in her match against Jordynne Grace, then I don't understand why any major company would want to take that risk, especially WWE, you know, the biggest one. Anyway guys, that's it from me giving my thoughts.
Uh, Man, I really hope they know what they're doing and they come up with like some contingencies plans. And hey, that's all you can just wish them luck, bro. But I already added my thoughts on that already. But hey, this WWE partnership is going to be big, guys. I can't wait to see what they got going on next. But hey, if you guys enjoyed that reaction and you want to see some more WWE videos, like and subscribe and put comments down below. And I got you next video.